Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to our forum today, which focusing on a crucial aspect of our education system today, school-based assessment in Malaysia, bridging ideals and realities. So, before I proceed with the forum today, before we start, I would like to give a little bit of introduction what school based assessment or SBA is. So, school based assessment or SBA was introduced with the aim of providing a more comprehensive understanding of our students' learning journey, moving beyond a singular focus on final examinations. So, SBA emphasizes continuous evaluation and aims to provide timely feedback to support student growth. So today we have two insightful panelists who will share their perspectives on the implementation of SPA. First, we have Puan Fazlini, a dedicated parent who has actively engaged with her child's schooling experience. So I would like to welcome Puan Fazlini for today.
Okay, thank you, Puan Faiza. It's good to be here.
Okay. And we also have Encik Safizi, an experienced teacher who has been directly involved in implementing SBA in the classroom and who is also a teacher of 10 years experience at school. A warm welcome to you, Encik Safizi. Okay.
Terima kasih, Pan Faiza. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me here. I really appreciate this invitation. You know what? After I received your invitation for this forum and looking at the topic and issue, without any second thought, I right away accepted it because this issue is being discussed very, very widely. And this time, we can have a discussion from both sides. Okay, me as the teachers, and also with Puan Fazlini as the representative for the parents. So I hope
Okay.
we can have a very productive discussion today.
Okay. So thank you, Encik Safizi, for also readily accepting our invitation for today. So I will start the forum for today with the objective for this afternoon, which is to openly discuss the key challenges that have emerged in the implementation of SBA in Malaysia, to understand these issues from both the parental and the teacher's viewpoints, and hopefully to shed some light on potential ways forward. Okay, so let's begin by understanding the key issues from the parent's perspective, Puan Fazlini. So, as a parent, what are some of the main challenges or concerns that you have encountered regarding SPA?
Okay, thank you very much, Puan Faiza, for having me here. And also, I actually quite excited. Okay, I actually excited to be here to discuss this thing with both of you. Okay, okay. So from a parent's perspective, one of the main things we've noticed is the increased workload for our children, right? Okay, so it sometimes feels like there's a constant stream of tasks and assessments, which can be quite stressful for them. Okay, so as for me, as a parent, so I feel like there are lot of works to do for my kids at home. Okay, so we also sometimes struggle with a lack of clear understanding of the specific assessment criteria and how we can effectively support our children at home. Okay, sometimes as parents we also have lack of knowledge about some subjects, so we struggle to understand and we struggle to help our kids with this assessment. Okay, so there are also concerns about the consistency of assessment across different subjects and teachers. So um, is not always clear if the standards are the same. Okay.
Yes.
So
Okay.
that is my point of view.
Okay, so yes, I quite agree with you because actually, even for me, hearing that um, regardless of not having your PSR,
Mm.
okay, regardless of not having the regular tests at school, but still, it SPA poses a new challenge in which in terms of the consistency of the assessment
Yes,
among
yes,
teachers and also the parents. And we regularly hear this issue of parents' prejudice or parents' concern whether the assessment that is given to their kids are not biased, are relevant, are reliable. Okay, so I totally agree with that. And with that, also, I would like to continue our forum today with our teacher, and Safizi. And from your experience as a teacher, what are some of the primary challenges that you and your colleagues have faced in implementing SBA effectively?
All right, thank you. Thank you for the question. A very good insight from Puan Fazlini. Thank you. And from our side, the teacher side. Okay, I'm like the representative to voice out our opinion. Not really opinion, just like our thoughts. Okay, so from our side, um, the sheer volume of work, okay, associated with planning, conducting, recording, as well as in providing feedback for the SPA is a very significant hurdle. Okay, especially with the large classes. The classes consist of 35 students, 30 to 35. So we really had a challenging time there. And also, we often feel that there is a lack of sufficient training and resources, okay, to truly implement this school-based assessment in a way that it is both effective and manageable. Okay, so and also the time constraints within the curriculum also make it very challenging, okay, to conduct meaningful and varied assessment activities.
Okay, so thank you, okay, for your thought regarding the workload. I suppose workload in terms of planning, to conduct, to record, and to even providing feedback for SPA. They those even though from the outsider's perspective, I believe may seem like an easy task to do. We just need to plan, we just need to conduct, we don't have tests anymore. Okay, there's no UPSR. But still, I believe I would like to ask you one more question, if you don't mind, in terms of um the new challenge to plan and to conduct the new type of assessment for the students, because before this we have tests such as UPSR, and they are exam oriented. We already know what syllabus to cover, I believe. We already know what to test our students. But with this new type of assessment for the students, and plus with the lack of sufficient training and resources for the teachers, I believe that would pose a greater challenge for the teachers, also as the parents, to actually trust the teachers to assess their kids. Okay, so in your opinion, um, for the new type of assessment, are they more challenging, or do you think, yeah, it's okay, we don't have tests anymore? What do you think about that?
Are you asking me or
Yes, I'm
um,
asking you, is the new type of assessment would be more challenging, or just, I think for your, but in your opinion, that would be much easier?
So from my perspective, I think the SBA is actually it's challenging for the teachers. It's challenging for us, the teachers, to produce the task, okay, the assessment. But it is very beneficial for the students because they don't have big exams in primary school. Okay, so SBA is a very good thing for them to progress over time. And like I said, the challenging part is on the teacher side. Okay, they need to spend very much time on preparing the SBA, in administering the SBA as well as in assessing. So it's a very challenging, but that is a sacrifice that we willingly are doing for our students' progress and achievement.
Okay, so thank you, both of you, for highlighting these key issues. It is very interesting to see some overlap, particularly concerning workload. So, I would like to ask Encik Safizi again. You mentioned the heavy workload for teachers. So, how does this, in your opinion, impact the support and feedback that parents like Puan Fazlini receive regarding their children's progress in SPA?
Yes, yes, definitely. The heavy workload, it definitely, of course, has an impact. Okay, when we the teachers are overwhelmed with managing the assessment and the documentation, especially for a large number of students. So the time available for us to provide a particular and detailed as well as individualized feedback to both students and the parents becomes very limited. So this can lead to parents feel that they don't have a clear picture of their child's specific strength, area for improvement, as well as on their progress.
Okay, so Puan Fazlini, you mentioned concerns about the consistency of assessment before, I believe. So, how
Yes.
does this resonate with the challenges Encik Safizi, as a teacher, face in implementing SPA across different students and subjects within the constraints of time and resources?
Okay. As for me, it makes sense. Okay. If the teachers are struggling with workload and perhaps don't have standardized guidelines or sufficient training, so it would naturally lead to inconsistencies in, in how assessments are conducted and evaluated. So, as parents, this can be confusing because what might be considered good in one class might be assessed differently in another class. Okay, so it makes it harder for us to gauge our child's overall progress accurately.
Okay,
So,
so now let's think about potential solutions. Puan Fazlini, from a parent's perspective, what changes or support that you think would make the SPA process become more beneficial and understandable for families?
okay, well, I think clearer and more regular communication from schools about the purpose and process of SBA would be very helpful for us, the parents. So the parents would know what is this and that, and then perhaps workshops, also having workshops or easily accessible online resources explaining the assessment criteria also help. Okay, and how parents can support their children in many ways. So let's say in SBA, the teacher assess student, give an assessment to student, and then the uh, the teacher should provide the examples of their achievement, the students' achievement, so that the parents would know. So the I mean the kids have advantages in what area or maybe weaknesses in what area. So the parents
Mhm.
would know, okay, clearer about the kids, okay. So um, and then the parents also can help the kids at home, okay, to support their children, okay. So more detailed and specific feedback on student progress also would help beyond just marks, would also be greatly appreciated for the teachers, to the parents, okay. So
Okay.
that's my opinion.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Puan Fazlini. And I would like to continue with our teacher for today, Encik Safizi. Considering the challenges that you have outlined, what kind of support or changes that you believe as a teacher would enable other teachers and including you also to implement SBA more effectively?
All right. So thank you. Thank you for the question, Puan Faiza. So I would say the first move to do is a significant reduction in workload. So um, teachers don't only teach; they are holding many other administrative tasks. So maybe a reduction in workload, okay, perhaps through the administrative support or streamlining documentation process would make a very huge difference. Okay, so that is the first move I think can be done. The second one, from my perspective, is the increased and ongoing professional development, which is focusing on specifically on effective SBA strategies. Okay, these can include the assessment design, as well as in providing in how to provide quality feedback is very crucial. Okay, and the next one is by providing access, okay, to better resources, okay, and tools for managing and analyzing assessment data would be very beneficial for teachers. Okay, and um, the last point from me, a more realistic teacher to student ratio, okay, would allow for more individualized attention and assessment. For example, if one teacher is administering 35 students, there is almost no way for us to provide
That's a lot.
yes, that's
35,
very
yeah.
a lot. No,
That's a lot.
there's almost
Mm,
no way that we can provide individualized feedback and attention. So I think a more realistic teacher to student ratio is a very good move to be done.
So, one question from me. So, for the teacher to student ratio, how many do you think would be the best for the class setting?
I think the best is 120 is the best. I think 120 is the best.
120.
115 to 120 is the best. Above that, it is very complicated and challenging for us to
Yeah.
manage. Mm.
It would be quite maybe tiring for the teachers, right? To
Yes,
provide individualized
individualized. Yes.
attention,
When we
assessment.
are talking about individualized attention, it takes a lot of times. So when we are dealing with a large number of students, so it's very challenging and complicated as well, and tiring, like you said.
Actually,
Okay,
it's good
so
to know.
hmm?
From my part, it's good to know that I have a clearer now, perspective on the teacher side. So when Mr. Hasafizi explained everything, so I know that the teacher have lots of workloads. So so it so now I understand. Okay, as a parent.
thank you, Puan Fazli.
Mm-hmm.
We are not putting the
All right.
blame,
Mm-hmm.
not putting the blame on us. It is that
Mm-hmm.
it's just that um, our perspective is what we can say an internal matter. So the teachers know the issue, the challenges.
I think
So
maybe I think for my part, I think maybe the MOE should provide assistant teacher for each classes.
Mm-hmm.
yes, that should be
A
very
private school,
what
right?
Yeah,
I can
private
say.
school and also maybe in government school
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
to appoint that.
actually, a state government has introduced this what we can say as initiative in Terengganu. They provide a teacher
Mm-hmm.
assistant for every English teacher in Terengganu.
Mm.
But I heard that this initiative has been discontinued. I don't know why, but I really think that that is a very good move, very good
Yeah.
Yes,
initiative.
Mm-hmm.
yes, maybe lack of teachers.
May yes, that
Maybe.
might be the issue.
Mm.
Yes. Mm-mm. So, we've come to the conclusion for our forum today. Thank you to both of you, Puan Fazlini and Cik Safizi, for
Most
this
welcome.
insightful suggestion, insightful challenges. Okay, so I owe you so much for this forum for today. And we've had a very productive discussion today, highlighting some of the key issues surrounding the implementation of school based assessment in Malaysia from both a parent's and a teacher's perspective. So, it is clear that SBA, while holding significant potential for enhancing student learning, but there are also real challenges related to workload, clarity, consistency, and the need for adequate resources and support. Thank you to our panelists, Puan Fazlini and Encik Safizi, for sharing their
Welcome.
valuable experiences and insights. So, your perspectives are crucial in understanding the realities on the ground. And thank you to our audience for today for your thoughtful engagement. So, let's hope that through our continued dialogue and collaborative efforts, we can bridge the gap between the ideals of school based assessment and its practical implementation, and ultimately benefiting our students and the future of education in Malaysia. So, I will end our forum for today with Wabillahi Taufiq wal Hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and thank you everyone for your participation.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, Puan
Wabarakatuh.
Faiza, thank you, Puan Fazlini, for having me.
Thank you. Thank you too for Faiza
Okay,
and Sir
can
Safizi for
stop
having me.
recording.
Okay.